Hello, and welcome to part 2 of my 3-part vlog about my job as a JET ALT. So in the last one, I talked about my job at the center, my base school, and my job as a prefectural advisor. So now I'm going to talk about my model schools. So as I mentioned in the last vlog, most JET have 3 different schools. A base school, which they stay at most of the time, and then 2 travel schools, which are separate from their base school that they travel to on one day a week or something. So my schools are called model schools. There's a special reason for this. I don't know the exact reason, but we call them model schools. So, I have 2 model schools. I visit one on Monday and one on Wednesday. The model school I visit on Monday, I will not say its name, but I will say it's called S High School. So at my S High School, they are very well known for their volleyball team, I think, and their baseball team. So their volleyball team and their baseball team are really big. This is a lower achieving school. It's more in the recreation sports area. So the students there are a little less motivated than, students at a high academic achieving school. So they're less motivated. They don't really see point in learning English. So my classes there they're not difficult at all. It's just they're lower level than what I was expecting when I came in. I mainly teach 2 classes there. I teach oral communications. I teach 2 oral communications courses. The first oral communications is a group of second-year students, and the second is a group of third-year students. Oral communications is an elective at my S school, and because it's an elective, the students are more motivated than English 1, 2, or whatever. So they're more motivated, so it makes it easier to teach them. But occasionally I will teach an English class. One of the English teachers might ask me to teach it, and I usually do teach another English class once a month. So my first actual English class was this Monday. This Monday I taught an English class of 40 students. It was a big class, and they're not very motivated, and it had a handful of baseball players in it. And if they fall asleep, the teachers kind of just turn their head because they're baseball players and they're tired from baseball. So it's okay if they sleep in class. Yeah. So I just have, 2 main classes and then a sporadic English class thrown in there randomly. So I don't really get to know the students in any of those lesser English classes. I only get to know the students really well in the oral communications. At this school, my Kyoto sensei, which is my vice principal, speaks very good English. He's a very nice man, and he loves to talk to me in English. Him being able to speak English is really surprising to me. And he was a math teacher, so that's even more surprising. And he speaks English really well. But in the afternoon, after I finish all my classes and after I've met with my teachers to plan the next lesson, he always asks me, "Are you done with your work?" And I'll say, "Yeah." And I'm studying Japanese or something, and he's like, "Well, please go home when you're done." And I'll say, "Oh, well, my work hours don't end until 4:45." And he was like, "Well, you don't have anything else to do, so if you're done, please go home." So it gives me less opportunity to be able to speak with the students, as the only time I would be able to speak with them is after school. So it's a little harder to get to know the students as well as I would like at that school. So that's my S school. My second model school is, we're going to call it my H school. I go there on Wednesdays. In this school I teach 5 classes. They're all first year classes, so they're 10th graders in high school. So I teach 5 classes. I don't teach them all in one day. I teach 2 classes one week and then 3 classes the next. So kind of alternating 2, 3, 2, 3. The students here are much like the students at my S school. They are not very motivated. It's again a lower academic achieving school. This school is known for its social welfare course that it offers. So, that's a big deal for this school. So English is not so much. But the students here are very, very Genki. They're very active and very talkative. But when we're in class, they're not very talkative to me, and they aren't very excited to learn English. There's a handful of them that really, really try, but most of them aren't very interested in learning English. So during class, they won't talk to me. So it's challenging. It's challenging. But it's really interesting because, the class ends and the students gather around me and all try to speak to me in English. So they won't talk to me during class, but as soon as class ends, they want to talk to me. They see me in the halls. Jessika! Hi, Jessika! They really want to talk to me, but they won't talk to me in class. So, I take every chance I can get to talk to them out of class. Out of the 5 classes, I have 1 class. They talk a lot. They don't pay attention. I was explaining the directions in my last class last week. I was explaining the directions, and this one girl just every 3 seconds, kawaii, looking at me and, not even not even trying to focus on what I'm saying, but just kawaii. So that class is a little bit of a challenge. At this school, I also have an informal English lunch. So I eat lunch with a handful of third-year girls and speak to them in English and talk to them in English. And I have ESS club after school. And I started playing with this high school's brass band. One day I heard them practicing after school, and I was walking around watching all the students do their club activities, and I stopped by the band room and listened to them play. And the teacher, ushered me in and asked me what instrument I played, and he doesn't speak English very well, but he tried his hardest, and he was like, "Come play with us." And they invited me to play at their concert on November 8th, so I will be playing clarinet at my high school band's concert. It's pretty awesome. I'm pretty excited. And it's very fun because I get to talk to students that I don't get to talk to any other way. These students are 3rd and 2nd year. So it's very good that I get to talk to students that I don't teach, but it's very fun. On the second time I went to rehearsal, they all, were trying to get me to know their names. So I had 5 or 6 girls, gathered around me, and they'd all point at themselves, telling me their names. So, Yuna, Miho, Misako, Nanami, and they were all gathered around me, and they were pointing to themselves and saying their names. And then they'd get through all their names, and then they'd start at the beginning and asking me to tell them their names, and I'm like, I have no idea. I'm terrible, terrible with names, first of all. And then you add in the factor that they're Japanese names, so they're names that I'm not accustomed to, it makes it even harder. But I wrote them all down, so I was like, okay, Miho, Obo, okay. It was very exciting, and I enjoy it very much. But anyway, those are my model schools. I have my S school and my H school. My after school activities that I do with my H school really help, to motivate these students, to let them know that, hey, I'm a cool person. Part 3 of this will be coming soon about Yogo Gakko. That one probably shouldn't be too long. It definitely won't be as long as these first 2 were. So part 3 coming soon. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.